What up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Chinnist. Today is January 16th, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. I have my haul here of 18 with 17 different titles. I threw up my Midtown order on the left-hand side as well. I have read through this stack, starting off on the DC side, The Batman Who Laughs. Great miniseries so far, issue number 2 of 6. So what you have here, the Batman Who Laughs is actually Bruce Wayne, who contracted the Joker serum in that universe that he came from, in the multiverse that he came from. Here is a little bit different. So last issue you had the Joker who actually shot himself in the chest, man, pretty gruesome, in order to spray his blood onto Batman for him to contract the virus that way. So Batman is trying to stave off the infection, the Joker infection, by using every anti-serum that he has in his arsenal. He estimates maybe about a week for this to delay the full effect for him to become Joker-like. So along this way, he's trying to figure out a way to beat the Batman Who Laughs. So yeah, pretty good fight scene so far. He does confront him. I won't give away what happens so far, but man, pretty cool how they fight. Man, the Batman Who Laughs created like his own, fighting style, the new Bruce Wayne style. But yeah, pretty cool. Batman Who Laughs number 2. The Flash, number 62. This one got a little bit of speculation, rumor, because of the new character called Psych. Psych I did enjoy so far. So the Flash is on a Speed Force, a Force quest. He's trying to find out a little bit more about the Speed Force that he has a pretty good understanding of, but trying to get the other forces out there as well, including the Sage Force. So in this, search for who is using the Sage Force, found this one character. So his name is indeed Psych. He is telling them he's part of Argus, to where he's a good guy, a little bit of, through reading here, you find out that he's using the Sage Force for personal gain. Won't tell you if he's a villain or not, but you're gonna have to read that yourself. But very good storyline, so far. But yeah, new character using the Sage Force by the name of Psych. Moving on to Marvel. I think Marvel had my top 2 reads this week. 2 of them by Donny Cates. So The Return of Wolverine number 4. I've enjoyed, so Wolverine was my most favorite superhero by far. So I have thoroughly enjoyed, the comeback of Logan. So, I hear a lot of people not enjoying this title overall, and not really sure about that. I have enjoyed it so far. So get a little bit more background to this doctor who's been kind of manipulating Logan. Logan lost his memory, and this doctor is somewhat manipulating him. So you get a little bit more insight as to who she is. Very cool, background, the story that's going on here, and it turns pretty dark and gruesome, to tell you the truth. Not a little bit contradictory from the artwork, to tell you the truth, in my opinion. But man, pretty gruesome as far as what Logan does, people who are used in order to get Logan to do what he's doing. So yeah, Return of Wolverine number 4, man, love it. Venom number 10. This was by far my number 1 read of this week. Donny Cates, man, kills it. So here you have, let me get through this. So what you have is Eddie Brock, his half or his stepbrother has come back into the picture. I never knew, I never really read Venom, wasn't too big of a fan, so I didn't know too much of his history. So don't know if this is a brand new stepbrother or who this is, to tell you the truth, or if he's been introduced in other storylines. But this is like his perspective of who Venom is. He's aware of who Venom is, just through like news media, things of that nature. But this is a little bit more background as far as Eddie Brock's father and what happened in Eddie's history to cause his father to, ultimately hate him. So man, great dramatic type of storyline, man. Just for all, leave it here on this one page, won't give away anything else, but man, pretty gruesome relationship between the two. So yeah, by far, this was my number 1 read of the week. Venom number 10. Man, Donny Cates, man, great writer. Invaders number 1. So surprisingly, I was going to pick this one up just to have a number 1. Reading through this one, surprisingly, this became my number 2 read of the week. So Invaders, never a fan. Some of the older teams kind of based around the World War II time. Just not really a fan. I jumped in right away with the X-Men, And man, you know, that was my team, and it kind of like spawned out from there. But some of the older like Defenders, Invaders, I never really was, you know, a fan of those guys. So yeah, so I picked up a number 1 just to have a number 1. Wasn't really expecting much. Wasn't expected to actually continue on. Wasn't aware if this was going to be like a retelling of an old World War II type of storyline or if it was current day. So to my surprise, it was like a blend of the two. It really picked up. It gave you a little bit more background of what happened during the Invaders time, during the World War II time. But it picks up with current continuity with Namor, who's kind of gone, you know, a little bit of a villain, you know, like a little bit off of his rocker in the current like Avengers. I think he kind of crossed over a little bit in the X-Men title as well. But yeah, I kind of picked up right where we left off on the Avengers side of things. So man, great storyline, and a little bit more background on Namor. I've never been a Namor fan, but between this issue and the next issue I'm about to show you, man, I've kind of started turning a little bit more on Namor, man, getting a little bit more background of who he was and what he kind of underwent during World War II. So yeah, man, I really enjoyed this Invaders number 2. If you're going to shy away from this one because, you know, like me, you did not like the older, you know, superhero groups, man, check this one out. You know, highly recommended by me. This is my number 2 read of the week. Marvel Comics presents. So same ditto on this type of title. I was going to pick up this number 1 just to have a number 1. Wasn't really, you know, expecting too much. You know, the previous Marvel Comics presents with Wolverine, you know, I picked them up, you know, just because they're iconic. But the storylines I didn't really enjoy too much, to tell you the truth. You know, the Weapon X and, you know, other things kind of, you know, change things, but most of the other storylines, you know, did not really enjoy too much. Man, so was not expecting too much here. Man, this one kind of blew me away. This may have been my number 4, you know, definitely my top 5, maybe 4th, 5th read, you know, for this week. So this one actually had 3 separate storylines. So I thought this was going to be like another superhero invader type of storyline. Nope, 3 completely individual storylines, you know, centered around these type of invader characters. So the first one by Wolverine, by far the best. Excellent artwork to go along with it. I say like a 4 out of 5 in my opinion for the superhero type of artwork that I'm looking for. Great type of supernatural type of storyline that Wolverine gets into, and this actually continues on in issue number 2. So I don't want to give away any more of the storyline here, but man, very intriguing storyline. I definitely want to pick up the number 2 for sure to see how the Wolverine storyline continues. Further on, you get the second storyline is on Namor. This is just a one-shot and, you know, one and done, but just a little bit more insight at the very end of World War II. So Invaders kind of give you a little bit more background of how it began. This is a little bit more of how it ended, but you'll see that this kind of plays into, you know, his psyche overall, of what he's experiencing right now in Invaders. So yeah, pretty cool storyline to go along with this one as well. The last one on Captain America, really more based on the 80s, I think, would, you know, my guess on the timeline. A little story about Kelly. I'm not too big of a Captain America fan. Don't know who Kelly is. I'm sure, you know, you big Captain America fans out there know who she is. But this storyline kind of centered around her. She has to be some sort of a historic type of character. So yeah, check this one out. If you're going to shy away from this one, you know, again, because you didn't like the previous volumes, man, check it out. Especially if you are a Wolverine fan. Uncanny XMen number 10. So this was kind of the finale of the Disassembled. This, you know, the story will continue on, as you'll see at the end, but really this was the culmination of this huge battle to where Jean Grey basically called in every single remaining X-Men who is on the reserve team to come fight the Apocalypse, the new team, the new Horseman team with X-Men. So yeah, man, great storyline, great fighting to go along with this one. Again, I don't want to give away what the ending of this one is, but man, great storyline. So I started off comics with Uncanny X-Men. You know, I've been waiting for this return, and I am thoroughly satisfied. I think there may be some of y'all in the community who do not enjoy the X-Men, you know, coming back or this new reboot, but man, I truly a fan. So yeah, Uncanny X-Men number 10. Check it out. Conan number 2. Pick up Conan number 1. Pretty good storyline overall. You know, I was going to pick up 1 through 3 maybe, see how I felt about it. Wasn't really expecting too much. I pretty much enjoyed this storyline so far. So, looking forward to number 3 after reading this number 2. You have Conan, he's over there fighting with his barbarians against a more Indian type of tribe. They get hunted down by this pack of snakes who actually hunt like wolves, something that Conan's never seen, huge, savage type of snakes. He gets jumped, he gets saved, to a certain degree by this Indian tribe that they were fighting, and he somewhat befriends them and agrees to kill off the main snake. So along the way, everyone here in the village hates him, but he's helping them, day by day fight off the snakes. Over time, they learn to respect him, and he becomes part of them. He finishes off, the epic battle against the snakes. I won't show you that, but man, pretty cool storyline. Kind of like a little one-shot. I'm sure it's going to tie in, later on as he's befriended the Indian type of tribe. But yeah, was not expecting too much from Conan, but man, slowly becoming a pretty good fan so far. Star Wars Age of Republic Special. Another kind of like anthology type of title out for today. So you have 3 separate storylines, each one, totally separate from each other. I think a little bit different timeline, even though kind of all Age of Republic, but a little bit different timelines here. Pre and post order number 66. So first one, Mace Windu. Man, Mace Windu has been one of my all-time favorite Jedis. Man, love this guy. Great battle. A little bit more insight when he was younger. I don't think I've ever seen anything when he was young. Pretty good storyline here. However, the second storyline with Ventress. Man, Ventress was always one of my favorites. Man, she's a complete badass. Great artwork as well. So the best artwork, the best storyline by far. This one goes back to where Atano Soko is on the hunt. So man, great stuff, and a little bit more insight to Ventress's past and how she kind of grew up. So yeah, man, if you're a Ventress fan, definitely pick up this. The third story, Jar Jar Binks, man, complete waste in my opinion. But yeah, the first 2 storylines, man, check it out. Marvel Tales featuring Venom. So I noticed that this one sold out, so I actually picked up just one more copy. What this one ended up being was nothing but a reprint of these 3 individual issues here. And I could have sworn that this middle issue here, what is this, ASM number 316, man, I could have sworn that this was recently in a True Believers. So if so, man, this was nothing but 3 packaged True Believers that should have been $3 that they sold for $8. I never really complain about pricing, but man, I thought this one was kind of like just a repackaged, up-priced type of quick sell for Venom. And man, really don't agree with that. And again, I really hardly ever complain about price, but man, I'm going to complain about this one because this really should have been no more than $3, based on the other True Believers that they've been releasing. So yeah, I'd say this is a complete pass, and I'm surprised this one actually sold out. Moving on to Image, Gideon Falls. Jeff Lemire doing a great job on that intrigue. Man, you really want to know what the heck this barn is, what is going on from issue number 1 all the way through. In this issue number 10, you finally get more history, more insight on what this barn is, kind of what it represents, and how it kind of vanishes into thin air and how it's recreated. So yeah, man, so for all you Gideon Fall fans out there, man, this was a great issue. So yeah, love it. I know this was somewhat option for something that I'm aware of, but yeah, Gideon Falls, check this out in trade at this point in time. But man, love this title. Burnouts. So another title that I love, 420 friendly, of course, and so this one here, you have to basically smoke out in order to see the aliens. This is great because the one little group who are fighting the aliens, half of them they got taken over. So now it's inter squad fighting, so to speak. And man, this turns pretty gruesome in regard to what the aliens do with the humans. I mean, it's really contradictory again to the artwork, because the artwork's a little bit whimsical, a little bit more, I guess, younger based is what it looks like. But man, what the aliens do to the humans, man, very, very gruesome, man. The way that they kind of kill them and how they kill them and their plans for the future, wow, man, kind of blew me away. So yeah, Burnouts number 5. Middlewest, Scotty Young, man, great artist and writer so far, man. So this is kind of like real world meets fantasy. So fantasy is in the real world is what you have here in this title. Pretty cool stuff. I love how the fox, the kid's companion, is just so sarcastic, like all the way through, man. So the humor that the fox puts out, man, is like pretty much one of my favorite, elements of this title overall. But, overall, this is kind of like a fantasy magical quest that this kid is going on, and you'll get a little bit more background on his father as well. But yeah, if you enjoy fantasy, man, this is a pretty good type of storyline. So yeah, Middlewest by Scotty Young. A Walk Through Hell, number 7, moving on to Aftershock. Love Garth Ennis, man. I love how he's, his dark, adult, gruesome, take on this. Great writer, great stuff. So, I kind of always felt this was like purgatory, maybe hell, as the title, explains, maybe purgatory. A lot more insight on this one issue as to what our main characters are going through. So yeah, I don't want to give away anything, but if you're reading this, you kind of always felt like this is what was going on. But yeah, this was a great issue to kind of a little bit more insight here. This issue number 7, Walk Through Hell. Babyteeth, number 14. This, another issue by Donny Cates, man, this was probably my number 2 or 3 read of this week, man. Great read. So overall, you have what you assume was like an antichrist, or maybe not Satan, maybe like another high-level demon that this woman had. It was a virgin type of pregnancy, similar to Jesus. And out comes a demon. There's an entire race of humans who are worshiping this demon, looking for it to become the Antichrist, to bring hell to earth. And the way that Donny Cates writes his story, the twist that he has placed in here was just hilarious, man. It had me laughing. The actual Antichrist here had me laughing this entire issue. One of my favorite reads of this week. If you're not picking up Babyteeth, I highly suggest for y'all to go pick it up and trade. Man, this is a type of title that gets better and better every issue that goes by. Babyteeth by Donny Cates. Definitely check this out. Dark Arc, number 13 by Conan Bunn. So they have finally hit land. Our arc of monsters have finally hit land, and they gave a little bit of a premise as to this group of monsters who I believe they're called the Ancient Ones, but a little bit of preview in the last issue, but you see their full-on attack here in this one issue. So the storyline has increased, the action has jumped way up there. So yeah, you really wanted to know what was going to go on, while they're at sea, but man, now they hit land, it's gotten a lot more thrilling. So yeah, definitely check this one out. Dark Arc, number 13. Last one for y'all, I have one from Boom Studios, Black Badge. This is another title that I love from issue number 1 all the way through, and yet another one that gets better and better every issue. This one, issue number 6, somewhat focuses solely around, I'll call them the Girl Scouts. What they're called here is the Pink Badge. And this kind of shows how they first started with the government program. At first, the government program was indeed just about boys, but they had one select group of girls, and they describe here the little origin story of how they were named the Pink Badge. And a little bit of a twist at the very end that's going on with that one redhead, one of the main characters here. So yeah, I won't give that away, but a pretty good twist in my opinion, man. Did not see that coming whatsoever. So yeah, Black Badge, man, Boy Scouts doing agent type of work, man. Great stuff. Guys, that's going to be it for this week's brand new haul. Should you enjoy what you see here, please like and subscribe. Talk to you later.